welcome our next speaker for this afternoon. This is Kris Verdonck. Kris Verdonck is a Belgian, is a visual artist and theater maker with a background in architecture as well. He's well known for a lot of different his installations, stills, the gigantic projections in public space. He's known for the production 1, 2, 3, 4. But I'm sure he's going to present his work to you. His work is about the relation man-technology, we could say, in some way. So I'm curious to hear. Up to you.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. And now I know why I have to talk behind after you, because I just continue your talk, if that's okay. So empathy and robots, or empathy and machines, or even empathy and objects. So I work in the field of visual arts and in theater, and I will just continue now on the theater aspect of the thing. And I think it's very interesting, the idea of the transformers question, but I'm afraid that we don't have a choice, in a sense that we just love them, and we have an empathetic relationship with these things, and we can't even, I think, we don't have a choice, I'm afraid. So one of the first things when I graduated in theater was my little problem of acting and performing, and it was always a bit dull because, well, acting is by definition two people who learn a text by heart and reenact that on stage and try to do it as good as possible, and we have to believe them, and that's the whole thing. And especially the dying scenes I really like, because nobody ever believes that they are dying, but we have to believe that they die. So what I did next, R2-D2, who dies at one point in Star Wars, and we have an empathic relationship with the little machine. But there we still have the medium of film and all it has a voice and et cetera, et cetera. My question in the beginning was, could it be also much more abstract? This was even filmed in high 8 at one point. It even existed, so it was in medieval time. A bit of one of my first probable installation. I see it as a mini theater piece. Very dramatic. I will even show you the second version where we have a little bit more on a theater setup. Here it goes again. So we talk about a seesaw, something to cut bricks with. I connected an iron L on it, put it in, and that's it. Oh, that's nice. We don't see anything. Good. So, well, there it is. And it will explode even more beautiful. The crazy thing about it that I will have to recall some reactions on this thing is that I torture machines, that I have no heart. I must be a fascist. I must be the naughty kid that kills animals for fun, and even applauding, being touched by the stupid thing, and I don't know why, but the fact is that we do. And I think that's a bit the idea of the transformers. We don't know why, but that we do it, that's for sure. I will show you another variation of another, also an older work, and another relationship we have with a machine. This is a V6 engine, and I even didn't think when I started it, I didn't even. This is the engine. I even didn't think about it as being art. I thought it was like a demonstration, like the old times, like demonstrations of machines. What we do with the machine is we just have it on remote control and we push it. I have to stick with some reactions. I pollute, horrible pollution while people drive back to their homes. And one of the most crazy reactions I get talking about our relationship with these things is, which one shall I go for? The nice one, I guess, was somebody from well, most of the people say, well, this is a V6 engine. I do not have that in my car. I don't have a thing like this. This is a heavy one. I have a much lighter one. And I don't understand that they don't understand that they have exactly the same thing in their car, and they just don't know it. What a crazy idea. Here we have, this was a flower, a garden we constructed inside of a museum with only alien invasive species, birds, flowers, fish, even a squirrel, frogs. Those were bullfrogs. They get like 1.5 kilos. A huge predator. Here we have the birds in Brussels, you know, all of them. Well, here we have a different kind of especially the huge frogs, the bullfrog, carnivore, and eats everything that even lives in your pound. And one of the reasons people buy these Texas predators, 1.5 kilo frog, is that they're so beautiful because they're so big. What happens with most of these plants are just bought because they have big flowers, Mickey Mouse kind of beautiful big flowers. The fish are great, beautiful colors, and whatever the consequences are, we will buy them because they look better than the stupid little flowers in Belgium. Talking about the ethics of technology, and I'm almost convinced that it is nearly impossible to talk about ethics and innovation in a sense that what can happen will happen. I'm quite convinced that to quote Mr. Rees, how's he called again? Royal astronomer. He wrote the book about the apocalypse. Sir Martin Rees, Royal astronomer, and he in his book he proposed on a kind of a jury or a ethics commission that if you want to invent something, you have to go there and propose them and to say if you can invent it, yes or no. I think it's absolutely impossible in a sense that if it's there, if it's so deeply in ourselves we will invent it, because it's not in our specimen not to do it. There's so many examples of things we invented that are absolutely horrible, but we do. And why we do it? Because we can. And I guess that's one of the if we won't do it, somebody else will. And I think it will just change. If money is being if you can earn money with the invention that is possible there, if you don't do it, somebody else will. And this is, I think, something that is we can as artists, I think we can see objects and we can try to understand them, and we can open them up and misuse them and try to understand what they mean for in our society, and we can think about it and we can write about it, etc., etc. But the huge industrial this capitalistic machine that is behind us is absolutely something that will continue with or without us, and we just have to. But it's also I think a huge responsibility for artists to almost scream at audience, public, whatever. To if we have problems with objects, it's also a huge effort to keep on thinking about what is our relationship with these things. Just a question here: how much time per day we are in front of our computers? And I guess in this audience we have 12 hours a day or 8 hours a day at least. And we have everything by this machine. We have sex, we have communication, we have our friends, we are creative, we enjoy the thing. It's just our empathic relationship with this is just huge. Why don't we go to a bar, or why don't we have real sex, or why we're not creative with something else? Because we just love them too much. How am I time-wise? 5 minutes. All right. So this longing of innovation and renewals, I think we can even this idea of if you look at the whole history of the humankind, and I think the homunculus, the little creature of the alchemists, is absolutely something that we're still working on, and we will continue until we have the little robot that is absolutely present. And whatever Mr. Hawkins says now about the artificial intelligence, blah blah, I don't even believe that the artificial intelligence is so big, but that's my point of view, and that's very interesting. But I don't think we can stop it. We will continue. What an incredible thing it would be as a scientist, or even as an artist, why not, or somebody else, I don't care really, that will invent the absolute artificial. Probably in Japan they will invent it. We will create it. There's no stopping about it. The only thing, I guess, and I really think so, that the only thing is artists have to look at at objects and try to understand them. A last one of the about empathy, that was something else, I guess. Huge, yeah. This stage, and here we have yes, a guy in a mascot costume, very Beckettian. He didn't have so much to do. The whole theater piece is just hanging around on stage, really. Yeah, very long time. But then we noticed something else at one point. So he he starts to bang his head against the wall. And there we had a complete other problem. I really see it as a living object, a doll with somebody inside. And here we had a huge problem, even me as the director of the thing. The problem of empathy was, I didn't have empathy with him, and I just thought it was funny, and it kept on being funny. I couldn't get it to a kind of tragic idea. So we had to put in a microphone inside of the head where you can hear him breathe, and you can hear the impact against the wall, just to have an idea of empathy. Otherwise, I didn't feel anything. So, and there I think the social scale and the social position of how we treat sometimes other human beings is as complicated as we have empathy with our machines. I think I will stop here. Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you. Maybe I'll repeat the question I had for the previous speaker, because in a sense it's a similar one. You both spoke about empathy towards machines. Isn't seeing human in a machine just another form of personification, which we know for as long as people are here? We see persons in trees, in clouds, in mountains, in everything.
Yeah, for sure. We just love ourselves. It's all about us. Even in a I don't know, I don't remember the film now. In one documentary, they did tests on cats, and they got into the nerve system of cats, and they thought they saw cats from the perspective of the cat. They saw human beings with cat ears. The projection of what we do is so huge that whatever we do, we see human activity inside of a robot. I just want to. I can because I stopped. There's one I forgot here. That is Mr. Dancer number 2. No, number 3 we have here. Yes, this was the little dancing robot. So it's a robot that jumps around. It's actually a piston. It has nothing, fundamentally nothing human. And here I had the most crazy reactions. From enjoyment to poor little robot, oh, it fell again, do something, save him. Oh, look how cute he dances. The whole empathy thing went berserk, and I'm quite sure that it's one of the aspects of one of the things we completely underestimate is the projection of our side on the machines and not from the machines on us. Don't ask what your phone can do for you, but ask what you can do for your phone. When we are used to the thing, then we say like, oh, look at it, it's so human. We just adapted ourselves, and that's it. And I think we completely underestimate the idea, the amount of projection we have of, like a biologist on a monkey. It cannot see a monkey as a monkey. because we see it by human eyes. And I think that's a definition in our daily life, even in the clouds or in the, yes, we project it.